Welcome to Yoga with Dags. Today I thought we would do some work with our hips. So our hips can get really tight, sometimes energetically, when we feel like things are out of our control. That's like a spiritual reason the hips might get tight. So, I think I'm going to invite us to contemplate our value and our worth in this world as we practice today, knowing that just being here, just taking time to create peace in ourselves and a place of stillness in the midst of what can feel like chaos is of value. And reminding each of us that we all have a gift. We all have a gift to share in this world. And no matter how small it may seem, it's helpful. And, we were all born with something to share. So just a reminder of that, because sometimes we can compare ourselves to others and we can forget that. So let's just take that into our practice today as we open up our hips. I'm going to have 2 bricks here to use as well. And I think we'll start in a restorative pose that opens the hips, because that always feels good to me, especially if you're practicing after a long day of work. So I'm going to take my first brick and put it the long way, flat. Second brick, medium height for my head. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to lie down so that the bottom edge of the brick is going to be at the bottom edge of my shoulder blades. For women, that's often the bra strap. So right at the bottom edge of the brick, not the top, is right at the bottom edge of my shoulder blades. And the upper brick on the medium height is under the base of my skull. And you can just kind of wiggle around till it feels like, oh yes, that's perfect. It's supporting me. It feels comfortable. Keep your knees bent as you find that position. And then just let your arms settle out to the sides. Then just take a minute to find a breath. So beginning to allow the breath to deepen for your practice. So maybe close your eyes and take a couple breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. And just begin to land here. See if your breath can, as you inhale, see if it can allow your rib cage to expand outward as if, your whole lungs are filling with breath. And as you exhale, just let them gently fall back to the center. And a couple of those big breaths in through the nose, rib cage expands. Out through the nose, rib cage contracts back to center. Good, and then just putting your feet together, feet right beneath the knees. Let your knees come out to the side into Badakanasana. So the bottoms of your feet are together. There's an external rotation happening in your legs. That means your inner thighs are energetically rolling up and your outer thighs are wrapping down and under. And just let the weight of your thighs become heavy. Let the back of your neck lengthen so that your spine is nice and long as your hips soften open and your chest just begins to drape over the brick. And just continue with a couple beautiful breaths here, landing in your practice. Breathing in to your heart center. And as you're breathing in, you're recognizing your essential value. just by your presence, by the fact that you're here, recognizing that you're a valuable asset to the planet through your beautiful conscious awareness and your ability to share your God-given gifts, whatever they may be. And as you inhale, just let your awareness of what your gifts are just wake back up. Maybe they've been sleeping a little bit. Maybe it's just the ability to be kind. And as you exhale, you're just letting go and softening. And then let's inhale our arms up to the ceiling. And let's just exhale. Let's take them up over our heads. Oh, and just stretch them out a little bit. And then out to the sides. Good. And when you're ready, use a nice inhalation to gently draw the knees back together. And just exhale your feet apart as far as your mat. And then we're just going to open the hips a little more by keeping the feet at the edges of your mat and gently dropping the knees to one side. Inhaling them up, exhaling them to the other side. If the bricks under you is not feeling good, you can do this without bricks. Just use the inhale to come up, the exhale to come down. Letting the breath move you, moving with your breath. Allowing your breath to connect you with the essence of your spirit, the essence of spirit around you. The essence of who you are. Couple more breaths. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. And then exhale, just gently rolling off to come up to find a seat. And pressing up gently. Good. And we're going to come and take a Badakanasana again. Let's rock like a weeble wobble for a moment. The bottoms of your feet are together. And you're just gently walking your sitting bones a little closer to your heels, any amount. Good. And then coming into stillness with that, you can get hold of your feet and we're just going to gently butterfly, which means you're just going to lift you're just going to see if you can lift your chest up, sit up as straight as you can, hold on to the feet and gently pulsate the thighs up and down. As you do this, you're just continuing to breathe through your nose and increase your breath. If it's really hard to sit up straight, you can put two bricks together and you can do this with two bricks as well. Sometimes that feels better if it's really hard to sit up straight. That helps bring a lift, or a blanket is good too, but just gently loosening up the hips here. Just getting in touch with how the hips feel and your breath. Good, and then bringing that into stillness. Just I'm going to come back down again. And I'm going to straighten my legs into Dandasana. So with Dandasana, the legs are straight forward, toes up to the ceiling. Chest lifting up, thighs down, heels out. And I'm going to come into Sukhasana by bending my my left leg, sorry, and placing that left ankle beneath my right knee and doing the same with the other. Try to cross your shins right in the center and then settle the knees down over your ankles for Sukhasana, easy pose. Find both sitting bones nice and equally. You can have a brick on either side if you have them. And let's take the arms out to the side, roll those palms open, inhale them up. And on the exhale, roll your belly over towards your left leg. And then we're just gonna bring our hands down to the brick. We're gonna inhale and lift the chest up, grounding through the edges of our feet. And we're gonna exhale and we're just gonna push that brick forward. If you don't have a brick, you can just use your spider fingers and walk them forward. Coming right out, so the belly's aiming right out over that knee. And you're just coming right forward. Grounding through both sitting bones. Nice big breaths. Inhale, come back in. Exhale to the center. Arms out to the side, roll them open, inhale them up. Exhale, roll the belly, this time to the right. Hands can come down to spider fingers or your breath. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, come forward. Grounding through the edges of your feet. Stay anchored if you can through both sitting bones, especially that left one that wants to come up. Keep the shoulders soft as you come forward. With each inhalation, grow longer in the spine. With each exhalation, settle yourself forward a little bit. Good. Inhale to come up. Exhale, straight forward. And then straightening the right leg, the left leg. And this time we're going to take the right leg, put the ankle beneath the left knee, and vice versa. So you're on your opposite cross. And we'll just take one of those bricks out in front of us again. Inhale, grow your spine tall. Exhale, come forward, straight forward this time. Take your time. With each inhalation, you're lengthening the spine. With each exhalation, you're surrendering forward a little bit. Good. And just grounding, anchoring through the buttocks, flesh moving down toward the earth. Belly lifts up to the chest and heart and coming forward. Good. And then coming back up. And then we'll just take the legs out to the sides for Uppa Vista. Wide angle pose. I like to press myself forward a little bit and try to get my feet toes straight up to the ceiling if I can. Again, I'm going to bring the brick out in front of me. Ground down through my thighs, reach out through my heels, lift up through my chest, and then I'm going to come forward onto my brick. I'm going to go medium, but you might go high, you might go low. Anything where you can keep integrity and lengthen your spine and come forward. And then just breathe as you come forward any amount. Getting a nice stretch through your adductor muscles as well as your hamstrings, opening those hips up. I'm going to lower my breath a little bit and come forward a little more. Couple more breaths here. Good. And then inhale to come back up. I'm going to exhale and take my legs back together into Dandasana. And then I'm going to externally rotate my left leg and bring it out. And I'm going to see if I can scoot under with my hand and my other hand. And as if this were a nice little baby, I'm going to lift my chest up as much as I can. And I'm going to begin to just rock the baby. So we're rocking the baby. Find a little range of motion in that hip. Opening it up. Good. And once you've done that, you can bring it, if you can bring it right up to the top of your thigh. Sometimes it's good to support the leg a little bit with a brick underneath it. If that's not comfortable, you can always place the leg right on the inner thigh instead. But if you can bring it right up to the top here, maybe support it if need be. And then we're going to inhale the arms up. And we're going to exhale, we're going to reach forward toward that foot. You might land like I am on the shin or the ankle, but we're just going to come forward any amount here. Nice deep breaths. Good, and then inhaling to come up, exhale, release that leg down. And we'll do the second side. So we're going to externally rotate the right leg. You're going to bring your arm underneath to cradle it, and then just begin to open up that hip. Try to stay stationary in your opposite leg, and just let those hips open up. Rocking it a little bit. Continuing with breath, trying not to hold your breath. Then bringing that to stillness. Maybe you can bring that leg up on the thigh. Maybe you'll place it on the inner thigh. Either way, you might want to support beneath the knee. And then we'll inhale the arms up. And we're going to exhale and come forward any amount. Keep that chest lifted up. Coming forward. With each inhalation growing longer, with each exhalation surrendering yourself forward any amount. Good, and then we'll inhale up and we'll exhale, we'll release that leg down. Great, so we're gonna come and let's just take a child's pose for a minute. Knees apart, big toes touch. Buttocks go back to the heels, so like so. Knees apart, big toes touch. Buttocks back to the heels. And just surrender. Put your third eye on the mat, and maybe bring your arms back by your sides for a moment. And just settle and soften. Let your shoulders just drape forward. Good, inhale and look up. And we're gonna come onto all fours next. We'll just do a little cat-cow. Inhale, lifting the chin, lifting the tail, letting the belly drop. Exhale, carving the spine up like a Halloween cat since it's almost Halloween. And continuing this with a couple of breaths, inhaling and exhaling. And exhaling. Good, and we'll return to tabletop position here. See that your knees are right beneath your hips, your hands beneath your shoulders. Trying not to collapse into your wrist. Take a deep breath in and exhale, take your right leg back. And just lengthen it, lengthen it, lengthen it, lengthen it. Maybe you lift it ever so slightly. Reach it back, reach your chest forward, breathe, look forward a little bit. Deep breath in. On our exhale, we're going to bring the knee to the nose. And we're going to hold it for 3 breaths. Good. After 3 full breaths, bring it out. Hold it for 3 breaths. Good. And then we're going to take a deep breath in. And then we're going to exhale, knees to nose. Inhale out. exhale, knees to nose. Curving the spine. Inhale out. Big breaths. Exhale, knees to nose. And one more. Good, returning the knee. Take wide knees and buttocks back to your heels and settle. Child's pose, extended with the arms this time. Release your wrists. Turn your palms up and just relax. Good, when you're ready, come up onto all fours again, tabletop position. Deep breath in and exhale, this time the left one back. Get strong by taking your belly up towards your spine. Look ahead of your mat, maybe a foot or so. Deep breath in and exhale, knees to nose. Hold for the count of 3 breaths. Let your spine curve here. Deep breath in again. Exhale, extend, nice and long and strong. And then 3 times. Inhaling, knee to nose, curling it out. And exhaling back. 2 more. Big breath. Good. And then tabletop position, knees wide. Settle back for child's. Palms turn up and just relax for a moment. You can gently rock your hips from side to side to stretch your back here. They're starting to open up. And then let's inhale up onto all fours. We're going to come into tabletop position again. Take your right leg back, and this time take your left arm forward and find your core strength. Take a nice big breath there. Good, and then placing the hand back down, look between your hands and swing your back leg forward. Let the shin come at an angle, and then settle your back leg back for pigeon pose. Sometimes it helps to use our bricks for our hands for this pose to bring us a little bit higher as we settle. You want your back leg to go straight back. Your front leg is, your shin is at a nice angle, your foot is flexed. And if you can draw that front hip back to try to find a levelness with your back hip. And then maybe come forward onto your forearms if you can. And just let that kind of open up into that outer hip. You might be able to rest your forehead. Just take a couple nice breaths. Inhale and start to rise up to your proud pigeon again. Exhale back to tabletop position. All right, and we're going to do the other side now. So big breath in, exhale left leg back. Get your belly up to your spine and take your right arm forward. Another big breath here. Good, release the hand down, swing the leg forward, angle your shin, and reach back through your back leg. So the front leg shin is angled. We're flexing the foot. We're drawing the front hip back. We're trying to find the whole top of the back leg's thigh muscle on the floor. And lift the chest and then come forward onto the forearms if you can. As you come forward, you're drawing back through that front hip. You're drawing it back, trying to make it level with your back hip. Breathing into your pigeon. And then maybe you can come to rest your head. Soften through the hips, breathe into the hips. Maybe little micro movements can help a little bit. Inhaling to come back up. Exhaling, coming back into tabletop position. Good, and then once you're in tabletop position, we're gonna curl the toes under, we're gonna lift up into a downward facing dog, lifting the hips as high as you can, finding your upside down V position, reaching from the buttocks to the heels as the tops of your thighs move up and back, then looking up between your hands. Let the knees bend as you gently walk forward. Feet land beneath knees, land beneath hips. Just a nice forward fold. Press into the feet, inhale, and just let your arms come out and up. And exhale the hands back to your heart. And release. Good. So we'll just do a little bit of standing work before we wind down our practice. So with the hips opening, external rotation is a big thing. So that's when we turn our legs out. So we're going to do that. We're going to externally rotate our leg and find tree pose, Sukhasana. So perhaps you want the foot at your ankle. Maybe we'll take it higher, but first ground, come into Dandasana, mountain pose, and just reach your feet down to the earth as you lift your spine up and your crown up to heaven. Let your arms be energized. And then find that external rotation, roll that leg out. Maybe bring the foot to the ankle to begin with. And then decide, do you want to bring it up to the calf? Or maybe you want to bring it up to your thigh. But stay grounded, stay nice and grounded through the standing leg. Try to find a levelness through your hips. And you can bring your hands to your heart center if you want. Notice if you're holding your breath in this balance. Sometimes if it's hard to balance, you can bring your arms out. Sometimes you can hold on to a wall if it's hard to balance. And then gently bring your hand away to test your balance. You can bring your arms up. Whatever position you're in, just take another breath and then let go and release your arms and release your leg and shake out your standing leg. And then finding inner stillness, inner mountain again. Feet connecting to earth, kneecaps lifting, hip points lifting, chest lifting up. And then externally rotating this time your right leg, roll it out. Roll it out. Even so much that the knee is going out, if you can, out to the side. And just feel what that feels like. Find the lift in the chest, find the levelness in your hips. And then maybe take it, if it's comfortable, to the calf and find your balance. Maybe you want to challenge yourself and bring the foot up to the inner thigh. And press the foot into the thigh and the thigh into the foot to lift the chest more. Finding levelness in the hips, continuing to roll this hip open. And then maybe finding whatever kind of tree you want to be. You can be whatever kind of tree you want to be. I like to sometimes be a cactus because I love the desert. So you could be a cactus, you could be a Christmas tree, you could be whatever kind of tree. And just breathe. That's the most important part. Are you breathing? Are you accepting exactly where you are today? Are you in gratitude that you have this body to balance in, to find your balance, to seek your balance? And then releasing your arms, releasing the leg, and shaking out the standing leg. Good. And then we're just gonna open our legs nice and wide. Open them nice and wide. Maybe take a brick out in front of you. When your legs are open, turn the toes in just a little bit and see if you can ground through the outer edges of your feet. From here, we're going to take a long straight spine and come forward. Now our inner thighs are rolling back. And just bring your hands down to your breath, maybe to the floor if it's comfortable. When we're here, I'm going to ground through the outer edge of our feet. We're going to lengthen our spine forward. Bring your hands to the floor. Bring your brick beneath you. And then walk your hands back toward your brick. Let your fingertips stay forward. Let your spine stay long. And then bring your head down toward your brick. So you might have your brick really high to get your head on. You might have it medium or low. Your head might go right to the floor, who knows? But you're gonna rest your head if you can. Maybe you need 2 bricks to rest your head. Wherever you are is perfecto today. So my fingertips are facing forward. My elbows are in line with my shoulders. And I'm just stretching here and breathing and being. Take a couple more breaths. Good. Inhale and stretch the spine forward. Walk your hands forward. Look forward. And then heel toe in a little bit. Hands to the tops of the thighs. Inhale up with a long straight spine. And step your feet together. Good. And then we're going to come down and wind down. We're going to take a happy baby. My hips are feeling better. I hope yours are. We're going to lie on our backs. And bring the knees to the chest. And then let them splay out a little bit. Take your peace fingers and your thumbs and get hold of your big toes if you can. If you can't, you can hold right beneath your knees. But let the hips open up and then let the feet go up to the ceiling with the hips splayed wide for a happy baby. And then just play a little bit. You can bend and straighten if you want. Opening the hips, you can rock. Opening the hips. You can massage your lower back. But just breathe and maybe practice your yoga of the mouth where you bring the outer corners of your mouth up to your ears, up to the tops of your ears. With a big smile. Increasing the breath, letting go. Good. And then bringing your sweet baby to stillness. Let's just bring our arms to the side and just bring your knees up towards your chest. Hop your hips just a little over to the right. And then drop your knees off to your left armpit slowly. Good. A little twist before we wind down into a rest. Inhaling, taking the knees back to the center. Exhale, feet down and reset your spine. Knees up to the chest. Hips hop over just a little bit to the left. Knees drop off to the right, armpit slowly. Couple breaths right into the hips, right into the lower back. Softening, letting go. Releasing the need to control anything other than what is truly under your control, which if you're blessed enough to have it this way is, your own actions and what you choose to think about things, particularly yourself and others. Inhaling slowly to the center. Exhale, put the feet down, lift up into a little bridge and lengthen the spine. And then just let the legs come long. Let them be as wide as your mat. Let your arms come to the sides. Let them rest at a 45-degree angle. Find the center of your skull. Let the head become heavy. Relaxing your face, eyes, jaw, cheeks, temples, relaxing your throat, neck, releasing your shoulders, allowing them just to soften, arms release, hands, releasing the belly, softening buttocks, hips, tops of your legs, bottoms of your legs, feet. Finding a deep surrender of this body in this moment. Softening your thoughts. Just allowing them to fade, soften into the background. As you rest in your heart, knowing that you are truly loved and truly of beautiful value, just by being. The biggest mountain is made of tiny grains of sand. The swiftest, deepest river consists of tiny drops of water, and in the swell of human existence, one of us is just as important as another. One little drop of water is as complete in itself as the whole river, the whole ocean. Even in the smallest way, we are just as complete and miraculous as any smart invention on earth. Many small parts make up the great, but each part is infinitely important and necessary. We should never say we are not important. We are each essential and have a definite purpose, and it is a sacred responsibility to develop and use what we have at hand. So just opening in this space of rest to your unique spirit-given gifts and finding willingness to let them shine out into the world around you. And when you're ready, you can just hug your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug. Give yourself a squeeze, stretching your lower back. And very gently with an exhalation, roll onto your right side. With a beautiful big breath in, you can press up to find a seat, either cross-legged, a chair, or on a brick. And we'll take our hands to our hearts, connecting to the light within, renewing our commitment to be the light, to let our light shine in this world any way we can. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. I'll look forward to next time. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Bye-bye.